What's up, everybody out there? How you doing? R&B diva, Cindy Mizelle. She's up next. Let's talk. What's up, everybody out there? How you doing? Welcome back over here to Pepe's Point of View, you new viewers, you returning viewers, and you subscribers. I appreciate you guys so much. I am your host, your R&B historian, Pepe. And we're talking about R&B diva Cindy Mizelle. I think I'm pronouncing her name correctly. You should know by now I can butcher her name. I think I am. I don't think it's Mizelle or anything like that. I think it's Mizelle. Anywho, I looked. Okay, you guys know I don't dig around like that. I just don't. But I tried to see if I could find an interview of her, a live interview of her, and the host is pronouncing her name instead of an interview that's in a publication. Couldn't find one, so I'm going to stick with Mizelle. If you tell me that I am pronouncing it incorrectly, I appreciate it. Just tell me how to pronounce it. It's just what it is, okay? So let's dive right into Cindy Mizelle. How did I come across Cindy Mizelle? Well, let me tell you. At first, I didn't know that I was aware of who she was, or rather who she is. You know, for those of us who got, some age on us, you probably didn't know you actually knew her, or at least her voice. And I'm going to talk about that in a second, all right? But I came across Cindy Mizelle because, as you know, over here, I love my music. You know what I'm saying? I love my R&B divas. I love them, and all that stuff. I got my divas and all that. And, I read my album credits, we don't do that anymore. Oh my gosh. But anyway, so I read my album covers. So as I'm reading it, I come across her name. Let me tell you how intrigued I was just by coming across her name, because it wasn't just her name that really just stood out to me. It wasn't her name. It was the album that she was on, and the diva that was, and it was the Diva's album that she was on. You understand what I'm saying? Picture it. 1991. And Lisa Fisher. How Can I Ease the Pain? The So Intense album. Oh my gosh. And I was, young, you know what I'm saying, back then. And I just got to the point where, I'm discovering the record store. You know what I'm saying? And, I'm like, okay, I can purchase music. I can purchase it in the record store. But I also came across music through, the penny. You could put the penny, the BMG, the Columbia House. I came across that too. Anyway. So I was over to a friend's house. And as I was over there, she told me about Columbia House, right? Because she had Lisa Fisher's album, So Intense, where it wasn't her album. She said it was her brother's album. But anyway, that has nothing to do with anything. It was just that she told me, she was like, yeah, because when I turned it over, I saw that it had BMG or Columbia House or something on it. And I was like, how? Why is this on there? And then she told me, and so sure enough, when I went home, I went through, because, my grandmother had all these magazines. So I went through all the magazines I could find, and there it was. It was in there, the Columbia House brochure thing. Anywho, so I went in and I listed down what I want, the albums that I wanted, and Lisa Fischer's So Intense album was one of them. That's how I got that album. Well, I started reading the credits when the album showed up in the mail, and Cindy Mizelle's name was there. Now, if you have not heard Lisa Fischer's album, So Intense, you got to go out and get it. Matter of fact, I think I need to cover that album over here. But anywho, and if you're familiar with Lisa Fischer at all, then you know the octaves that comes out of her voice are just bananas. It's sickening. It's crazy. You understand what I'm saying? So as I'm listening to the album and I'm seeing Cindy's name there, I'm saying to myself, like, now this is when it really starts to get, it's cooking. I was like, I really can't tell who's who. Like, to me, when I hear Cindy Mizelle and Lisa Fischer together, I can't tell who's who. I can't do it. So I'm saying to myself, like, this is in my mind. Like, I'm just telling y'all what's in my head. In my head, I'm saying to myself, like, oh my gosh, like, it says that she's singing background with Lisa Fischer. I'm saying, I think that's Lisa Fischer singing background too. It got to be. So I'm saying to myself, like, this lady is hanging with Lisa Fischer like this. You know, that's in my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, this lady can sing her behind off too, right? So that's when I start to get intrigued with Cindy Mizelle, right? And so sure enough, by more albums throughout the years, her name pops up on credits. You understand what I'm saying? So much so now that it's kind of like how Lisa Fischer and Tawatha AG and who else? The Waters, like these background singers whose names just comes up all the time, you know, on particular albums with particular artists. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, you get familiar with their names. So then it's like Cindy Mizelle is in that pool of singers to me that I just admire, you know. So I can't tell or differentiate between Lisa Fischer and Cindy Mizelle when they're together. But I also cannot tell the difference between, it's just me, I'm just letting you know, when Lisa Fischer, Tawatha AG, and Sissy Houston are on the same track. I can't. Some of you guys probably has that good, you know, you got a good ear for that. I don't have a good ear for that as far as saying, okay, this one is the first soprano, second soprano, so on and so forth. It's just that I don't have an ear for that. So if you could tell me, you know, that's fine. That's what we talk about over here, music. So it's cool with me. So when Lisa Fischer joined Luther Vandross, when I look through my Luther Vandross album credits, I'm surprised that I'm thinking that I hear Lisa Fischer, and it's not her. It's either Tawatha AG or it's Sissy Houston. And then in previous albums, before I guess Lisa Fischer, I guess joined, it was Sissy Houston and Tawatha AG. So I'm saying to myself, like, I can't tell the difference. Which then makes me start to think about Luther Vandross. Hold on, just bear with me. We're going to talk about Cindy Mizelle. Get Cindy Mizelle on the phone. Let her know we're talking about her over here. You understand what I'm saying? We're going to talk about the album, but I'm trying to prove a point. So anyway, I can't tell the difference. And it makes me think about Luther Vandross now and how meticulous Luther Vandross must have been as far as a particular sound, because, you know, since I'm a fan of Lisa Fischer, you know, says that, you know, Luther Vandross, you know, he says, can you make it sound like this? I've heard her say in an interview, oh, could you put more air in your voice with this one? Could you do more of this with that, and so on and so forth? And, you know, he wants this particular sound. Right? And obviously, you know, it's what it is. Any producer or songwriter, it's just what it is. But I'm just saying. But I guess the point I want to make is that Luther Vandross also has been known for not wanting to do particular songs if he didn't have particular background singers. Like if like he would say, "Oh, I'm not going to do this if Sissy is not, here, or if Tawatha is not here, so on and so forth." Like I'm not. Those are the ones I want for this particular song. So, anywho, which means in my head, I'm talking about me in my head, whether if it's Sissy Houston, Tawatha AG, Cindy Mizelle, Lisa Fisher, what's the other lady name? Is it Alpha Anderson? I'm saying her name right. Like these ladies, no matter who it is on the track or whatever, for the most part, in my head, in my ears, these ladies can do the same thing. Do you understand? That's what I'm trying to get to. Got to be, to me, like they can do the same thing, because now when I listen to Cindy Mizelle's debut album in 1994, as I'm listening to it, there's a particular song on this album, and I go like, oh my gosh, she did not do that. I know she didn't do this. Like this is straight Mariah Carey, Lisa Fisher type singing right here. And I think the song is called Back to My Emotions, that streams Mariah Carey. I don't care. Like this song to me is like before the emancipation of Mimi. Somebody went digging through somebody's catalog and they found this track. And they said, hey, we got to use this to get a sound for Mariah Carey. That's just my point of view. But anyway, so that's how I came across Cindy Mizelle. That's how she's always been a fan favorite of mine. And I didn't know. I did not know this. And when I found this out years ago, I was like, oh my gosh, you got to be kidding me. So now you old heads. Let's get in here, you old heads. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, I'm sorry. Let's get in here, you old heads. You know Cindy Mizelle. And you know her. And I didn't know I knew her. But I knew her and you knew her. You understand what I'm saying? Beat Street. Beat Street. Beat Street. Oh my gosh, when I found out years ago that Cindy Mizelle, and y'all know the song, This Could Be the Night. Beat Street, the song This Could Be the Night. That's her. I was like, what? I'm done. You guys know 1983, 1984, somewhere around there, when this movie came out, Beat Street, the top movie, not the breaking movie, but the top movie. When this movie came out, everybody was watching it. It's like a cult classic, but everybody was watching this movie. So there's no way that you're going to sit here and tell me you are not familiar with the song This Could Be the Night. I don't think it was ever released as a single or anything, but if you watch, like I said, the movie, you already know what I'm talking about. I just fell out and said, oh my gosh, like I didn't know that she was around during that time and that she was definitely ingrained in my head, and I didn't know that. It's like, okay, Cindy, it's all right. Whew, it is what it is, right? So now I have 15 minutes left, and we're going to talk about her album. I got some questions about this album, Cindy. Now, the year is 1994, and I'm kind of confused as to the reason why this album did not get the attention that it so well deserved. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm trying to figure out in my head what happened. What happened? I got a theory, Cindy, so I need you to tell me, like, okay, you might be right. Usually, sometimes if I don't hit the bulls, I still hit the board. I don't hit walls. You know what I'm saying? I don't hit all, like I hit the board for sure. But I want to know if I'm hitting the bull's eye. Well, it's 1994. And according to records, Cindy, you were on East West Records at the time, right? According to East West Records. Now, this is 1994. Why do I continue to put emphasis on 1994 in East West Records? Well, for those of you who don't know, Sylvia Rome, and I wish I had the album credits so I can know for sure that Sylvia Rome was a part of this album. My theory is that Sylvia Rome was or wasn't a part of this album. Now, Sylvia Rome, if you don't know who she is, I cannot explain Sylvia Rome to you guys. She's a music executive. She's a mogul, music executive. And you know what? She's responsible for a lot of careers, reviving careers for Yolanda Adams. Who else? Missy Elliott, Busta Rhymes. She's responsible for In Vogue. Oh gosh, who else? Oh my gosh, see y'all getting me to talk. Did I say Gerald Levert? Oh my gosh, Mickey Howard. Ooh, Adina Howard, Brandy. Oh, do you see what I'm saying? So you already know Sylvia Rome got it going on when it comes to stuff like that. But now there's a little controversy too. I might need to talk about Sylvia Rome. But anyway. So it's 1994. So in my head, I'm trying to figure out what was happening with Cindy's project, her album, her debut album, self-titled debut album. Could it be that Sylvia Rome is a part of the album, putting the album together, and that she's now moving over to Elektra Records? And because she's moving over to Elektra Records, your album didn't get the attention that it deserved because she's out the door. I'm just saying, because she's going over there. But if I'm not mistaken, did Sylvia take some of the East-West artists over to Elektra Records with her though? Because In Vogue goes over there. Do they merge? So there's a couple of theories that I have about this. Either Sylvia was involved in the beginning, and somehow or another you got lost in the shuffle of all of that. Cindy did, her album did. And maybe she shows up after, the record shows up after Sylvia leaves, during the time Sylvia leaves. Like something happened with Sylvia Rome is where I'm going. And obviously it didn't get the attention that it deserved, right? That's what I want to assume. Because there's a lot of things that's going on with Sylvia Rome leaving East West Records, but something tells me she didn't leave it. You know what I'm saying? Like somehow or another that they had to merge them is what I'm thinking. But she could have left. But I don't think she left. I think something happened. But anyway, she's definitely over there. Sometime around in 1994, maybe the summer of 1994, maybe the fall of 1994, Sylvia goes, for sure she's over there in 1995, right? But anywho, I think that's what happened. So the single that is released from this album, I Had Enough. Now, you probably are familiar with this single because it's also the same single years later that Regina Belle covered. I Had Enough. I had enough of this. I think it's time to call it quit. That I had enough, okay? And even when Regina Belle covered the song, it still performed the same number it did for Cindy. You know, it was a modest R&B hit. I don't even think it went into the top 30 or the top 20 on the R&B charts for either diva. Okay, it's kind of similar to Paris. It's Been You. They did it first. Then Anita Baker did It's Been You. She covered it on her Rhythm of Love album, right, in 1994. And even when she released It's Been You, it still did not do as well as Paris' version did. Okay, and so I don't know if it was just not a great song or what have you, but I like the song. It's a decent song. I had enough. So that's how I discovered Cindy had an album out. All right, because of Regina Belle's version. So when I discovered Regina Belle's version, I was like, oh, and you know, sometimes when songs out, you find out that it's a remake. And when I found out it was a remake, I was like, oh, then I was like, wait a minute, Cindy did this? So anyway, it's what it is. So it didn't do well for her. But now you know how some record companies are. Your first single, it doesn't do well. They're not really trying to give you any attention with the second single. So I don't know if there was a second single that was released from this album. And now this is when we start to really talk about the album. When I started listening to this album, I'm saying to myself, sorry, Cindy, this is just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I know you guys work really hard on this album. But I found this to be the same thing with Audrey Wheeler, okay? And I have an Audrey Wheeler video, so you know, hey, you can check that video out. Audrey Wheeler, who is the wife of singer Will Downing. Audrey Wheeler, also very well-known background singer. Is she singing with Shaka Khan now? But anyway, what I find with artists who are background singers, they start out as background singers first. It seems to me like they're very comfortable with being background singers, even when they are doing their project, right? It's to me, it's kind of like it's hard for them to step out of the background vocally. Like they're still stuck in that headspace where they're like, okay, I'm singing background. Now, baby, no, you're not the background singer. You're the lead singer. And you need to lead this song. And when I say lead this song, like you need to, you know, like I said, I need you to sing it down here. You see what I'm saying? Like they're very comfortable in that. So when I heard the first couple of songs on the album, that's what I was thinking when it came to Cindy. I was like, okay, Cindy, it's a decent song. The first song, Because I Love You, if in fact I listen to these songs in the order of the album. So I just finished talking about Rona Bennett of En Vogue. And when I heard as I'm listening to the first song, Because of You, I don't know. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I immediately thought of Rona Bennett. And I don't know if it's because she's the last diva I talked about, but I'm like, this is Rona Bennett. Like, she sounds like Rona Bennett. But another thing that confused me about this song, Because of You, I was saying to myself, I said, why? Who did this record? And I'm saying that because it comes in with the vocal. Like as soon as the song comes on, you hear the vocal. And I don't know why it put me in a bad headspace because I'm saying to myself, I'm like, why do this to me? Like, give me a little bit of an instrumentation before you start this song out just with these words. Something about the song is off. The way the song is arranged is just totally off to me, to the point where when I finally realized I'm really liking the song a little bit, that part of the song just leaves me confused. So I was like, I can't do the song. It's not that it's a bad song. I just can't do the song. And then I'm still thinking in my head, all right, Cindy, come out of this background mindset. Like, okay, this is a nice song, and it seems like it's just a nice song of someone showcasing, their songwriting and production ability. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but I can't do the song. Decent song, but something's just the feel it's not right. And so then I look at the album cover and I'm like, why did they put her face down below like that with the album cover? It just gave me like, okay, we're not really trying to showcase Cindy at all. Like, we just got this little headshot that's kind of like right down in the corner of the album, and I'm like, why? Who thought of that? But it's what it is. We people, it's create people being creative, right? And so then I get to the next song, a song actually, believe it or not, that was written and produced by Brian McKnight, and the song is called "I Can't Let Go." And when I heard it, I was like, okay, this is good. And then I'm hearing the vocals. Deborah Cox. I said, this is straight up Deborah Cox. Sounds like Deborah Cox to me, Cindy Mizelle. That's all I'm saying. I like it, but it's decent, And at this moment in time, I'm saying to myself, like, I'm really trying hard to like these songs. The way I felt about Because of You is the same way I'm feeling about I Can't Let Go. Like, okay, it's a nice song, but this just sounds like somebody doing a demo. And it's just a decent song. Someone showcasing that they can, write and play and all that stuff. But I have to admit, I'm still looking for, my favorite song on the album, the hit song on the album, and I haven't heard it yet. Okay, and then of course the next song is called "I Had Enough." I'm already familiar with the song, so I let it play still just so I can get the vibe and get the feel of it, and I like it. I still like the song "I Had Enough." Let's not talk about whose version we like the best, because that's necessary right now. Nice song. So then the next song I get to is a song called "Over You." I was like, okay, I like this. I was like, this is to me the fourth song on the album, and I'm saying, all right, Cindy, you singing your behind off. It's like I'm trying to like the song. She's singing her behind off, but now I want the hit. Like, I want the song that's just going to be like, wow, this is it. We're cooking with grease, and so far we're not cooking with grease. With this album, it's not giving me. It's giving me a background singer's album. Yeah. But then something happens. It's like the entire album takes a turn for the better. Like it's like this album, it morphs into what I expected out of Cindy, and maybe people were trying to find it, and they eventually found it, right? And maybe the sequencing of the album is off. So the next song, I was like, she got a Gerald Levert song? Gerald Levert just showed up. I said, okay, this got to be good. It's Gerald Levert. It's the next song. It's a song called Smile, and I love me some Gerald. So that's why I'm saying to myself, I'm like, all right, Gerald. All right, what you gonna do, Gerald? You know what I'm saying? And there we have it. This is the hit on the album. Gerald Levert is a song that is written and produced by, Gerald Levert, as well as with Gerald Levert's songwriting partner, Edwin Nicholas, excuse me, who pretty much worked with not Luther Vandross, Gerald Levert, throughout his career. And it's definitely a Gerald Levert song. I mean, the production style, everything, it works. And I'm here to tell you, like I'm saying to myself, this is the reason why I feel like the album didn't get the attention it needed, or maybe it was about to, and somewhere the ball was dropped, and it was dropped like quickly, you know, because I didn't hear anything else from this album. Okay, so I'm not quite sure why this album didn't get the attention, but I think it's because of the executive change over at East West Records. Then you get to the next song, Two Hearts. Okay, as I said, we cooking with grease. Like, not only are we cooking with grease, but we cooking. Love Two Hearts. I love this song. And what I'm liking now about Two Hearts is this. Cindy shows up as a co-writer for this song, Two Hearts. It's an up-tempo song, and it's definitely worthy of a release to me. And she shines. She really does shine on this track. And I'm thinking the reason why she shines on this track, even though the song Smile with Gerald Levert is a great song, and it makes you think of, Gerald Levert and Mickey Howard when they had their song, That's What Love Is. Like, it gives you that kind of feel if you really are into, Gerald Levert and, the duets that he have with other R&B divas. It really makes you think of, as I said, Mickey Howard. But I think because Cindy actually contributes to the writing of this song is the reason why she feels comfortable and she's just at ease. Like she feels at home on this track. She does, and I think that's what happens. It's something. It's because she shares songwriting credit on this track is the reason why I just think that it's a good song for her, and it definitely should have been released. Again, so all of the songs that I'm about to cover now are all great songs, and worthy of release on this from this album. The next song, my favorite song. That's the title of that single, or not the single, but the song. My favorite song, track 7. Listen, I'm being straight up with you. When you listen to the song, My Favorite Song, there are 2 divas that come to mind when I hear Cindy Mizelle sings this song. Mickey Howard and Cheryl Pepsi Riley. I was like, Mickey Howard would eat this song up. Cheryl Pepsi Riley would eat this song up. Like, this song definitely streams these 2 divas, and I love it. It's my favorite song. Is my favorite song. But then we get to track 8, the song that I talked to you about earlier, Back to My Emotions. This is the song that should have been released first. Back to My Emotions. It makes me think of Mariah Carey's Emancipation of Mimi. This track would have definitely been a song on that album. It gives me that feel. Yes, it does. It's an awesome song. I love it, and it's my favorite song on the album. And then, of course, the last song on the album is a song called Imagine, and I love that one as well. So overall, I give Cindy Mizelle's album, I give it a B plus A minus. I do. And I do that because you won't necessarily like every song on an album, and if you do, that's great. I think the problem is that out of the 9 songs on the album, is it 9 songs on the album? Yeah. Out of the 9 songs on the album, I think that you could have had, it's like the B-side is where the album is slamming at, right? That's the slamming side of the album. And the A side of the album is just basically like fillers to me, you know. And it's not really a balanced album the way in which the tracks were sequenced on the LP. That's the only thing that's really a downfall to this album, and the fact that it didn't see the light of day as far as having that strong single with Luther. Well, I'm still talking about Luther Vandross with Gerald Levert, and also the single "Back to My Emotions." But you know, those things happen. You know, we're talking about the makings of an R&B diva, and those things happen. You know, you just never know. Everything seems to be going well, you know, and just one executive change or, yeah, a new president, new management, something or other, and something comes along and they're like, well, no, we're not doing that. We're going into a different direction. You never know. But congratulate. Oh, there's another thing too that I wanted to talk about too when it comes to Cindy. And here we have Cindy Mizelle right here. Of course, this is Cindy. We have Cindy Mizelle. All right. So that's her. But also, too, I just found out that she actually also has a son. And that son of hers is actually in the NFL. All right. What is his name? Devin Fuller. Devin Fuller. And is he in the NFL? Is he still in the NFL? Well, he's played for a couple of teams, right? Uh, and I think the Atlanta Falcons is one of them, one of the teams that he's played for, but I'm not quite sure if he's still in the NFL or not. But anyway, he has been. And I think he was with the Falcons and the New England Patriots. But anywho, so I wanted to put that out there as well. You know, I was like, okay, I didn't even know that. So congratulations to you guys over there. And if you made it to this part of my commentary, then I think it's appropriate for me to ask you guys to say, hey, hang out with me. You know, hit the like button, the subscribe button, the share button, all that stuff. You know, we're talking about R&B divas, and every now and then, I do dish out the dirt on who drop kicked who in these entertainment streets, literally and figuratively speaking. And also, don't forget that whenever I leave my mother's presence, she always says to me, she says, baby, remember, I love you, but God loves you best. I love you guys out there. Make sure that you're putting your behind where your heart desires to be. Hey, which simply means if you want to sing, get a mic and sing, baby. Sing your song. You understand what I'm saying? Play your keyboard, play your piano, whatever it is. Hit the drums. You understand what I'm saying? You want to write a book? Get you a notepad and a pen. Get you a laptop and get your fingers, you know, to the clickety clackety. You understand what I'm saying? Like, do that. Put your behind where your heart desires to be. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys next video. And until then, you know what to do. Take care of yourselves. I know that I'll be.